This is not normal. The only other couple that I have ever known to brief against each other while they remain married.
Meghan Markle, meet the truth. Truth, meet Meghan Markle. I don't think you know each other. In fact, I fear that you're complete strangers.
There are rumors that this separate, working separately, seeing them independently, it's not only a professional blueprint, but it could potentially be something more serious.
The fairy tale is officially crumbling, and the signs are everywhere, if you know where to look. Multiple sources now confirm that Meghan Markle has been quietly assembling her exit strategy from Prince Harry, complete with lawyers negotiating a settlement that could rival Sarah Ferguson's divorce payout. We're talking about a woman who's reportedly been shopping around a post-divorce tell-all book while still married, demanding to keep her royal title, prime real estate, and a massive financial settlement. The most telling sign? She's been spotted without her wedding ring on multiple occasions, while Harry throws himself into solo humanitarian work, looking lighter and happier than he has in years. This isn't just a professional separation anymore. It's a calculated dismantling of their entire brand. And the woman who once claimed they were salt and pepper, always moving together, now seems poised to disappear with everything she can carry. Behind the carefully curated Instagram posts and desperate attempts at lifestyle guru status lies a devastating reality, one that royal insiders are finally willing to discuss. Meghan Markle's flagship business venture, American Riviera Orchard, has become what Sky News contributor Louise Roberts aptly described as the American Riviera ordeal, a spectacular failure that's not only hemorrhaging money, but also actively destroying her marriage to Prince Harry.
Jaunting off on his own, took a 15-day tour around the world to London, to New York, to Lesotho in South Africa, and so on and so forth. 15 days, made 10 solo visits on his own.
Royal author Tom Quinn, whose explosive behind-the-scenes revelations have been sending shockwaves through the palace, has revealed that Meghan's dissatisfaction with her struggling lifestyle brand is creating serious strain on her marriage, largely due to the stress it's causing her. The pressure of watching her grand business ambitions unravel has reportedly taken such a toll on Meghan that friends have noticed the couple arguing more frequently. What makes the situation particularly toxic is that, unlike most couples, Harry and Meghan used to spend nearly all their time together, meaning Harry has been witnessing Meghan's emotional meltdowns over her business setbacks firsthand. Sources close to the couple say Meghan was deeply upset and overwhelmed when her internet-based homemaking venture was publicly mocked, and that emotional fallout has affected her relationship with Harry.
People are now reporting that a marriage split, a separation might be imminent.
The timing couldn't be worse. Just as their Netflix deal nears expiration and financial pressures mount, Meghan's inability to launch a successful business is creating a perfect storm of marital tension. Harry, who has already sacrificed his family relationships and royal status for this new life, is reportedly watching his wife struggle with something that should have been relatively straightforward, especially given her platform and connections. The scale of American Riviera Orchard's failure is staggering when you examine the details. What was meant to be Meghan's answer to Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop empire has been reduced, as Louise Roberts aptly described, to a bunch of trademarks and a sort of ambit claim. Despite launching with great fanfare in March 2024, the brand has produced exactly 0 products for public sale, despite grand promises of everything from gourmet jams to pet food. The trademark disasters alone suggest a level of stunning mismanagement. Meghan's team filed for the American Riviera Orchard trademark only to be rejected by the U.S. Patent Office in August 2024 because American Riviera is a commonly used place name for Santa Barbara, where they live. This is the kind of basic legal oversight that should have been caught well before launch, not months after. Even more embarrassing, when Meghan hastily rebranded to As Ever in February 2025, she almost immediately ran into another trademark dispute, this time with a small New York clothing company that had been using the name since 2017. The company's owner, Mark Kolsky, firmly stated that he holds common law rights to the name and has no plans to stop using it, despite pressure from Meghan's Netflix-backed legal team.
Her history of being incredibly inconsistent and also rather toxic and manipulative are in direct contrast to this image that she's trying to sell right now and align with her As Ever brand.
The incompetence extends beyond trademark blunders into potential plagiarism accusations. Social media users were quick to point out that Meghan's new As Ever logo bears a striking resemblance to the coat of arms of a Spanish town named Paris, both featuring hummingbirds and palm trees. While Meghan's team insists the logo was uniquely and personally designed, claiming comprehensive global searches were conducted, the visual similarities are undeniable. This incident follows a troubling pattern of questionable originality that has plagued Meghan's past ventures. The woman who once described herself as a creative force seems repeatedly to draw heavy inspiration from existing designs and concepts, then reacts with surprise when the public points out the resemblances. Perhaps most telling is how Netflix has essentially been forced to step in and take over Meghan's failing brand in an attempt to salvage their investment. Reports indicate that American Riviera Orchard products will now be sold through Netflix house stores opening in 2025, with the streaming giant promoting everything from jams to skincare. This isn't a partnership of equals, it's a rescue operation. Netflix is reportedly working to extract whatever value it can from a venture that has failed to generate revenue on its own. The fact that Netflix is launching physical retail locations partly to sell Meghan's products reveals just how concerned they are about protecting their brand and bottom line. One insider noted that these stores will feature merchandise from Netflix's biggest successes, from Squid Game to Stranger Things, with Meghan's jam jars shelved beside memorabilia from global entertainment phenomena.
Face because they realize that they look like they've wasted a huge amount of money on these two individuals that overpromised and underdelivered.
The most damaging revelation came directly through Meghan's favored media outlet, People magazine, where she essentially admitted her marriage is in crisis. In what Dan Wootton aptly described as Meghan briefing against her own husband, sources told People that she is focused on the future, while Harry has one foot stuck in the past. This calculated leak reveals someone who is treating the royal rift like a business decision. As one source noted, this isn't her family. Meghan never had any intention of making it work. The most revealing line was her own admission. She wishes her husband could feel less burdened by the past and be more present in the life they've built together. That's not the language of a happy marriage. That's someone admitting her partner is fundamentally unhappy with the life they've created. And rather than reflecting on her own role in that unhappiness, she's placing the blame on Harry for his inability to move on from his former world. Behind the lifestyle brand failures and growing marital strain lies a crushing financial reality. Their much-hyped Netflix deal, initially reported as a $100 million windfall, is, in reality, closer to $20 million over 5 years. With a contract set to expire in 2025 and their content consistently underperforming, a renewal appears increasingly unlikely. Meanwhile, their expenses continue to spiral. Their Montecito mansion carries an annual property tax bill of $288,000, while their security costs are reportedly in the range of $2 million per year. To cut costs, they've already fired their entire PR team and, according to sources, have lost or let go of up to 25 staff members since 2020. Most telling of all is how Harry and Meghan are now operating more like separate entities than a united couple. As Louise Roberts observed, it's becoming glaringly obvious that salt and pepper, as Meghan once described them, no longer moves together. Harry is taking on more solo engagements, while Meghan pours her energy into struggling business ventures, creating the unmistakable impression of a couple gradually separating both professionally and personally.
If they wanted to portray a picture of a marriage in crisis, they couldn't do much of a better job than what they're doing now.
The business side of their relationship is now being handled separately, and by distinct teams within Archewell, with Harry reportedly having no involvement. This isn't just a matter of differing interests. It's a clear sign that Harry is distancing himself from ventures that are damaging their shared reputation. What we're witnessing isn't merely a business failure, it's the systematic unraveling of a marriage under the weight of unrealistic expectations and poor decision-making. Meghan's inability to succeed as a lifestyle guru, despite every advantage in platform, connections, and financial backing, has created exactly the kind of high-pressure environment that strains and ultimately destroys relationships. The woman who promised Harry a glamorous Hollywood life has instead delivered a string of public embarrassments, failures that have increasingly isolated them not just from the royal family, but also from the entertainment elite. The American Riviera Orchard fiasco isn't just a business misstep, it's a glaring symbol of everything that's gone wrong with their post-royal strategy. As financial pressures mount and the marriage shows deeper signs of strain, the split rumors that have circulated for months begin to look less like idle gossip and more like the inevitable conclusion to a relationship built on false promises and mutual exploitation, rather than genuine love and shared values. However, in a surprising twist, recent weeks have brought whispers of an unexpected development, talks of reconciliation. After years of public fallout, bitter interviews, and media-fueled tension, Both the royal family and the Sussex camp are reportedly engaging in quiet conversations, what many are calling a strategic, if unlikely, thaw. But beneath the headlines, the story is far more layered, revealing deep emotional rifts, strategic maneuvering, and unresolved grievances that threaten to derail any real healing. West Coast royal correspondent Kinsey Schofield paints a vivid picture of Prince Harry's current state of mind, a man desperate to repair his shattered public image after years of controversy. His recent actions suggest a deliberate attempt to re-establish his place within the royal fold. But that road to redemption is being met with considerable skepticism, both from the public and from within the royal family itself.
I think we're seeing a man desperate to rehabilitate his image after moving to the United States and becoming really this villain who has gone out of his way to terrorize a father with cancer.
The assessment is brutal, but accurate. Harry's public image has deteriorated so dramatically that even his charitable efforts are now viewed through the lens of damage control rather than genuine altruism. The timing of these reconciliation efforts is particularly telling. Harry appears to realize that the only path to sustained relevance and opportunity is by changing the trajectory of his brand, which, over the past few years, has come to be seen as bitter, vengeful, and overly reactive. This isn't about family healing, it's about career survival in a world increasingly hostile to the Sussex narrative. Even the reconciliation talks themselves are suspect. Their very public leak suggests that someone wanted the world to know these discussions were underway. The venue was not discreet, and photos surfaced in the media almost immediately. This points to a carefully orchestrated move, possibly by the palace, to gauge public reaction and show that the Crown is open to reconciliation, but only on very specific terms. Royal commentator Kinsey Schofield notes that this follows a familiar pattern. She argues that Harry and Meghan are once again drawing from the Princess Diana playbook. Stage peace talks, ensure they leak to the media, and generate a wave of positive PR, while putting pressure on the royal family to appear forgiving. The strategy appears designed to create headlines of goodwill while painting the palace into a corner. If the talks are public knowledge, does rejecting Harry and Meghan make the royals look cold or vengeful? However, the execution reveals a fundamental misreading of public sentiment. Schofield suggests the Sussexes are hoping for a press boost, but might also be trying to force the palace's hand. Public reaction has been overwhelmingly critical, with many viewing the peace talks as nothing more than a transparent PR stunt. The scars left by years of grievances, explosive interviews, and perceived betrayals have made true reconciliation a Herculean task. The palace must now weigh King Charles's paternal instincts against the serious risk of legitimizing ongoing criticism from the Sussexes. The strategic timing also raises eyebrows. Schofield points to the wave of positive press surrounding William and Catherine in recent weeks and speculates whether someone in Montecito, feeling envious, sought to steal the headlines. If true, this would suggest the reconciliation narrative was less about healing and more about disrupting the popularity of the working royals. Meanwhile, legal troubles are mounting for Meghan, particularly a defamation case brought by her half-sister, Samantha Markle. According to author Tom Bauer, this lawsuit could prove deeply damaging. A judge has ruled that Samantha's libel case must proceed to depositions, meaning Meghan will soon be questioned under oath. Bauer warned, "If I were Meghan, I'd be very worried tonight." This legal scrutiny will force Meghan to answer questions about whether she lied during her now infamous Oprah Winfrey interview, specifically regarding her family relationships with Samantha and Thomas Markle. The consequences could extend well beyond personal embarrassment. If Meghan is shown to have fabricated details under oath, it could establish a broader pattern of dishonesty that would make royal reconciliation virtually impossible. Harry, for his part, has been attempting to rehabilitate his image through solo charitable engagements, most notably, his recent trip to Africa where he recreated his late mother's famous walk through a minefield. But even this has been met with skepticism. Critics argue that the move feels overly staged, an imitation rather than an act of authentic service, and one that underscores just how far Harry has strayed from the kind of quiet dignity his mother once embodied. In the end, the Sussexes' efforts to recast their public image may be too little, too late, undermined by poor decisions, legal entanglements, and a public increasingly unwilling to overlook what now feels like a calculated, transactional approach to both family and philanthropy.
Because Diana was that kind of person, but he isn't.
Right.
And you know, this is not memorable, and it's really, it's kind of a bit cheesy, really.
And coming a couple is any sincerity to it, what?
The comparison to Princess Diana's groundbreaking humanitarian work only serves to highlight how far Harry has fallen from the public's good graces. Meghan's absence from these charitable endeavors is equally telling. While Harry claims she's not safe in certain locations, the inconsistency of that excuse, given their previous high-profile trips to Nigeria and Colombia, only further undermines their credibility. The Sussexes' Hollywood honeymoon appears to be over. Insiders report that even some of their closest celebrity friends have begun quietly distancing themselves. A combination of financial instability, public backlash, and unresolved family tensions paints a dire picture of the couple's current situation, and underscores the uphill battle they face if they hope to regain any real acceptance from the royal household or the public. Royal commentator Kinsey Schofield referenced the concept of a Q-score, Hollywood's metric for measuring popularity, which also accounts for infamy versus fame. While Meghan may have strong name recognition, Schofield explains, that doesn't mean people smile when they hear her name. It might make them cringe. Financial pressure is becoming increasingly apparent. Multiple sources confirm that Harry and Meghan are facing mounting expenses, while their income streams remain uncertain. With their Netflix deals set to expire, and renewal unlikely given the poor performance of their content, their financial future looks increasingly precarious. Tom Bower's analysis goes a step further, revealing that Meghan's legal troubles extend far beyond family squabbles. The recent defamation ruling in Samantha Markle's case could set a precedent, leaving Meghan vulnerable to further lawsuits from others she's publicly criticized or implicated. Bower observed that Meghan's entire demeanor has shifted since the release of Spare, noting her disappearance from public view and sustained silence since late last year. This suggests